Call to order this meeting of the Osawatomie City Council on April 23rd, 2026 at 6 p.m. here at the City Auditorium. Madam Clerk, we do a roll call.
Councilmember Shasteen?
Here.
Councilmember Masick?
Here.
Councilmember Dean? Absent. Councilmember Dickinson?
Here.
Councilmember Hennis?
Here.
Councilmember Bratton?
Here.
Councilmember Philippin? Here. Councilmember Caldwell? Here. Mayor Hampson?
Here. If you will stand for Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for invocation. Ms. Shasteen, will you lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Gracious and loving God, we come before you today with a grateful heart. We thank you for this community and for the dedicated service of our mayor and council members. We are grateful for their hard work, leadership, and commitment to the well-being of our city. We ask for your continued guidance over this meeting. Grant wisdom to all who are gathered as they make decisions for the common good. We also lift up our city and those affected by the recent hailstorms. Bring comfort to those who have experienced the loss and damage, and provide the resources and the strength needed for families, businesses, and neighborhoods to recover and rebuild. Strengthen our community not only in its infrastructure, but also in unity and care for one another. Bless all who serve, city staff, first responders, and volunteers as they work faithfully for the good of others. We pray in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Consent agenda items will be acted upon in one motion unless a council member wish for an item to be removed for separate discussion and action. Mayor, I move we approve the consent agenda as presented. Second. Got a motion by Councilman Dickinson, a second by Councilman Shasteen to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any other questions or comments from council? Madam Clerk?
Councilmember Shasteen?
Aye.
Councilmember Masick?
Aye.
Councilmember Dickinson?
Aye.
Councilmember Hennis?
Aye.
Councilmember Bratton?
Aye.
Councilmember Philippin? Aye. Councilmember Caldwell?
Motion carries. We will move on to comments from the public. Citizen participation will be limited to 5 minutes. Please stand to be recognized if you have a public comment. Oscar, you have something to say about church? No? Okay.
I guess members, back again. Appreciate your time last week our last meeting to reconsider the demolition on our house on 715 Pacific. I'm just standing out. I'll just let you look at this on your own time, but I'll be real quick here. This is just an execution plan. My understanding is that I spoke with Brett, and it sounds like he was not able to make it to this meeting, and I just wanted to make sure that the council was able to have a chance to vote on it before we get demolished. I think we have the next meeting's another couple weeks, and I believe it was out for bid on the last meeting. So I just wanted to make sure show presence here and ask for your opportunity to be able to vote on it before it gets demolished. That's all. That's really all I have.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
First polls, 0750, Osawatomie Road. Question. You see that Brett's not here and maybe think he might be the best to answer some of these questions. So I may present them again in the future. Was the city represented by an independent counsel during negotiations with Alcove and GWO? And was that counsel And was it a council that Alco did not select, recommend, or pay for? Idea. All right.
Give us 1 second. So the city has council, and he is sitting right here. So
Were you-
other than our council, no, there was not a separate council.
Were you present at the meetings with Alco?
I generally not. I review documents once presented to me by staff. It's not an efficient use of the city's resources to have me attend everything.
And not efficient for $1 billion budget?
Mayor.
Hey.
This is for comments, not for
This is not
questions.
question and answers.
Okay, statement. And ask anyway, when will public have the opportunity to ask council questions?
We do not know that currently
You are the council. How do you not know?
because we don't have a deal in front of us.
I'm not
We
talking
don't-
about that. I'm just talking about you and us. When can we ask you questions, whether it's related to the data center or not?
When we
We
would
can't
have
ask
it,
now, when can we ask?
when we would have information to answer you.
How do you know what information you need if you don't know what the questions are? Like, I want to ask you questions, and if you need time to get the answers, that's fine.
Then send me an email.
Okay.
We've all got email and
Yeah.
we can all answer them.
Our phones are even published.
Yep, our phone numbers are published if you would like to call.
We
Okay.
can ask them now, we just may not have any answers.
We haven't gotten any answers every week we've asked the questions.
Well, primarily because this is the city's business meeting, not a question and answer session. It's a public comment session. And so this is really the wrong forum to be engaging in a back and forth, although we're doing it right now. Generally, the way it works is the way they describe. Every one of the council members is available by email, and you can talk to the representative, the mayor or the representative of your district, or whichever one you want. That's something you would do not during the business meeting.
Okay, well, the government works for us, and I don't know these things. I don't know everything. So I need this information, and I know y'all are busy, so taking time out of all of your day to answer these questions, if I sent them to all of you, I may or may not get answers right away. I don't expect answers right away, but I may get different answers. And like I said, I know y'all are busy, but I also want to make sure that if I'm sending you questions, that these people back here or the people who are currently still at work and can't attend these meetings aren't hammering you with the same questions. Is that fair?
In terms of things that you would need to know, I would ask if you write everybody together. The best way to do that by email is to blind carbon copy them, because the problem is if you send them to all of them directly and then any of them applies all, that could create an Open Meetings Act problem. But if you blind carbon copy or you send it to individual folks, that doesn't create the problem. So sometimes if you send just a general email to everybody, one of the reasons you might not get a reply is that the Open Meetings Act would prohibit anybody from applying to that without creating unintentionally a meeting that would need to have been noticed. So that could be part of the problem as well. But just blind carbon copy is the proper way to do it. You send it to maybe to Brett or the mayor, and blind carbon copy everybody else if you want. That makes it so that we don't run into a problem trying to apply. Just in terms of information.
Okay. And I will just say this, the deal is for $10,000 an acre, 5 minutes on the internet. Y'all could have got at least $35,000 to $80,000 an acre. Y'all left at least $3 to $8 million on the table. Thank you.
You sold it? Okay, all right.
Did it move to that bill? Did it move to that?
Ian Day, 367, you know my address, it's a long one. I'm gonna have to call you out with the, not a time for question and answers. It literally says on your Northland page that now in the pre-development agreement stage, it's time for questions and answers. I'm just gonna say that, but tonight, I'm not here to talk about a proposed data center. Instead, I'm gonna talk about the deal you already signed back in January with Alco. On your Northland site development discussion, it states no land has been sold, no construction has been approved, and no final development agreement has been executed. Well, the agreement that you have signed with Alcove gives them 3.5 years of exclusive rights to the site, and you have promised not to market the Northland property to any other developers. That's why the for sale sign's gone. So we are still in the 6-month due diligence period. Let's see if I can get a yes or no. Alcove can back out of this agreement at any time. Since you have already signed the pre-developed agreement back in January, can we back out right now, or is it too late?
I can't.
I'm looking.
I'm
Right now.
Well, that's a question asking for legal advice, and you're not my client, so you'd have to get an attorney to answer.
I'm just asking if, he told me that we could back out at any time.
I said the agreement that they have, there's no full with the pre-development agreement agreeing to a 6-month and potential up to 3 additional deals. That's what we have in place right
That
now.
appears to be the
Is
case,
that correct?
as far as I'm aware, yes.
So yes or no, we can back out.
Well, this is why nobody wants to answer, is because then they want to be held to feet to the fire on something that.
I'm
we
not
don't
trying to
know.
hold feet to the fire. I'd like to know, because the last time when I asked Fred, all I got was,
Well, I think part of the problem is that you can't back out of anything.
I know, that's what I'm asking if you can.
Well, I can't. Only a majority of the city council voting together could do that if they wish to do that.
Excellent. Okay, that, I appreciate that.
That's
answer.
how the government works.
Yeah.
See, each individual council member has no individual power. It's only by a majority vote that they act at all. And that's, again, this is not time to teach the civics necessarily.
No, we don't have time for that, and I only got 5 minutes and 5 minutes short. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Tony, it says the Northland discussion says no land has been sold, but Alcove starts making payments at the end of June. And I know how that works. What I want to know is who was there for the signing of the pre-development agreement, and who on this council actually signed that agreement?
If I remember correctly, the ordinance authorized the staff to sign on behalf of the city. That's generally how this works as well. Individual council members don't sign, they authorize a member of staff or other authorized.
So who signed it?
I don't know.
Believe that.
Okay, thank you. This is important. Discussion about this agreement and what we're getting ourselves into really does need to be put on an agenda meeting. And I'm curious, is there anyone willing here to put that to a motion?
There's really nothing to put on the agenda at this point.
There's a lot to discuss.
Well, the agreement's been signed, so.
Yeah,
If
but
there's something to put on the agenda, there's nothing to do.
there's nothing to do. We can't talk about the effects of what they're proposing, all the risks. Can we get experts in here to do a study of our own of what it'll do to the resources, the
You're free to do
patients?
whatever you want.
Okay.
You're free to do whatever you want. I mean, now, public comment time is limited to 5 minutes per person, so. I mean,
Okay, so it's just my duty for the 5 minutes, and we're just not gonna have a discussion till later when it's pretty much said and done like other towns have done.
When it's right, yeah, that's how. it
Okay.
works.
Thank you. Thank you for your time, guys.
Any other public comment? All right, we'll move on to public hearings, which we have none. Presentations, proclamation, appointments. Looks like we have one proclamation for Arbor Day 2026. Yes, we do have a proclamation, Mayor. Proclamation issued by the mayor and city council. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Mort proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion from our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewables resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and beautify our community. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Therefore, he, Nick Hampson, Mayor of the City of Osawatomie, does hereby proclaim April 24th, 2026, Arbor Day in the City of Osawatomie, and he urges all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, he urges all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. Proclaimed this 23rd day of April, 2026. Thanks, Lawrence. We'll entertain a motion to approve the signing of the Arbor Day proclamation.
Mayor, I move we approve the proclamation as read.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Shasteen, a second by Councilman Bratton to approve the signature of the Arbor Day proclamation. Any other comments or questions from council? Madam Clerk?
Councilmember Shasteen?
Aye.
Councilmember Basic?
Aye.
Councilmember Dickinson?
Aye.
Councilmember Hennis?
Aye.
Councilmember Bratton?
Aye.
Councilmember Philippin? Aye. Councilmember Caldwell? Aye.
Motion carries. We move on. No unfinished business. Move on to new business. Item A, Resolution 1373, awarding the 2026 mill and overlay project.
In front of all of you is the engineer's recommendation for mill and overlay bid. It has a summary of the numbers. The reason this was not included in the original packet is, well, we didn't have it at the time, but also the apparent little bidder, Phillips Site Work, is not someone or a company that we had done work with before. So we did ask PG to do a little bit of background checking on them, check their references, and then also ask around to other projects that they knew that they had worked for. After doing that, our engineer Diane does believe that they are a responsible and responsive bidder, which is the requirement in our bid package. And so as the lowest bidder, it is our engineer's recommendation that we award the bid to them, either the base bid or the with add alternate. The base bid is only Pacific Avenue, that section of Pacific Avenue, and then the add alternate is Brown. We are comfortable with doing and adding the add alternate. We believe prices came in low enough to get both of those projects done this year. So I can take any questions or a motion for any and all of the above options.
This was the micro mill or whatever those.
No. So we did not end up bidding with a micro mill as an add alternate after discussing it with Diane. It's generally different companies that will bid out the micro mill because they're set up slightly different to do that work. And she was concerned that it would mess up the bid if we tried to add that as an add alternate, where we might get these companies not bidding. But then we also might get the micro mill companies not bidding either because they didn't want to bid the base bid. So she was concerned that that would cause some issues for us. The numbers came in low enough that we can still do both projects as a full 2-inch depth mill and overlay.
And we verified, I know there's some concern over whether making sure there had been the proper, whether it was a parking lot mix or an actual road.
It is the KDOT mix. They are familiar with it. And there was conversations with other municipalities who have had them do work other than parking lot work.
Okay.
Mayor, I move to approve Phillips Site Work Incorporated's bid for mill and overlay on Brown and Pacific Avenue.
Second.
We got a motion by Councilman Bratton, a second by Council Lady Philpin to approve the bid from Phillips Site Work Incorporated to do the full base bid plus the add-on in the total of $356,690, $689.80. Any questions or comments from council? Madam Clerk?
Councilmember Shasteen?
Aye.
Councilmember Basic?
Aye.
Councilmember Dickinson?
Aye.
Councilmember Hennis?
Aye.
Councilmember Bratton?
Aye.
Councilmember Philippin? Aye. Councilmember Caldwell?
Motion carries. We'll move on to resolution 1374, establishing annual municipal employee appreciation proclamations.
So this one is a list that Brett and I put together that we believe covers all of the different professions and different employees that we have across the organization. And it gives them either a day or a week, just depending on how that's nationally recognized, each year that recognizes them and the work that they do for the city. And they're listed here. There's 9 of them. There are a lot of them in May. May is a very busy month, apparently. I will also mention, we didn't get the proclamation in the packet this go around, but this is National Library Week this week. But the library did some posting about that and did some activities for their staff.
Mayor, I move we approve resolution 1374, establishing the annual municipal employee appreciation proclamations.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Shasteen, a second by Council Lady Phil to approve resolution 1374, establishing annual municipal employee appreciation proclamation. Any other questions or comments from council? Madam Clerk?
Councilmember Shasteen.
Aye.
Councilmember Mason.
Aye.
Councilmember Dickinson.
Aye.
Councilmember Hennis.
Aye.
Councilmember Bratton.
Aye.
Councilmember Philippin. Aye. Councilmember Caldwell.
Motion carries. We'll move on. Resolution 1375, authorizing emergency replacement of interconnect pole.
Perfect. Do you want to take over this?
That's fine. So the storm on the 15th, we had a broken pole. It's a backup interconnect pole, 3.5. It's our backup feed. Because of the location of the pole and the size, it's an 80-foot pole, and it's just by 169 and the Motazine River down in that valley. And the climate at the time, or the conditions at the time, was wet. We couldn't get a truck to it. We couldn't do anything with it, so I had to call a contractor to come out with a tracked bucket digger machine to be able to hold the pole, and then a tracked bucket machine in order to replace the pole. So we found a pole, we bought the pole, got the contractor here to replace it. Unfortunately, the prices we thought it was going to be ended up being more because he was supposed to replace it on a Friday. He couldn't because of the weather coming in. And then he was going to do it Saturday. And of course, Friday night, we had a storm and lost power. So we had to switch to our backup feed. So that line was energized at that time. So he couldn't do it Saturday either. He ended up not doing it until Sunday. So the prices went up by about, what I tell you, 15% or 20. So the prices went up. But again, it was something we couldn't do ourselves. I can only set a 65-foot pole. Again, this is an 80-foot pole. And I couldn't even get to it because where it's at, like I said, he had to have track machines to get to it. So that's what it is.
So this was done, April 16th, 17th.
The storm was the 15th, or was that Wednesday? And he did it Sunday. He came in town Friday and held the pole and then actually replaced it Sunday.
20th.
Yeah.
Mayor, I move we approve resolution 1375, authorizing emergency replacement of interconnect pole.
I'll second. Got a motion by Councilman Hennis and a second by Councilman Dickinson to approve resolution 1375, authorizing emergency replacement of interconnect pole. Any other questions or comments from council? Madam Clerk?
Councilmember Shasteen.
Aye.
Councilmember Mason.
Aye.
Councilmember Dickinson.
Aye.
Councilmember Hennis.
Aye.
Councilmember Bratton.
Aye.
Councilmember Philippin. Aye. Councilmember Caldwell.
Aye.
Motion carries. We'll move on to council report. Start to my left, Councilman Shasteen.
I just want to commend the crews and all, getting everything picked up this week and cleaned up. It's a nice job of that. And also I thought with the crews heading out after the storm, checking on everybody and making sure they were out there. I heard a lot of comments on the FD and PD checking on everybody. So good job on that.
No report.
I'd like to echo what Kevin said. Bruce did a great job. Yeah, the power went out, but you couldn't help that. But you get it on as quick as you could, and I understand that, and I appreciate that. I did make it to the, copy for the, incoming superintendent, met him, so, saw another council person there, so. We didn't have a meeting, so, but yeah, it seems like a real nice guy, and looking forward to working with him.
I would do the same as those two and just say good job to everybody that's been helping. It's been a rough week last week and this week getting everything cleaned up. So thinking about our neighbors up north in Hillsdale too. I went through there. It's terrible. So in Ottawa. So hopefully we can get through the rest of the season without too much more chaos.
No report, Mayor.
I do not have a report either. Just wanna, echo what Kevin said. They were out immediately afterwards. And, that was really nice for our residents to see that the fire department and police and city workers, were out as quickly as they were. We had an issue of a tree falling on the neighbor's house. And it was really nice. They were right there and helped him out and worked with him immediately. So it was awesome.
Yes, last Wednesday, I did see city crews cleaning hail out of, inlet boxes so streets could drain right afterwards.
Yep.
That amount of hail is, I've never seen it here to that magnitude. That size for sure. So thank you to all the crews for doing that. I would also, like to thank Pride, the committee or the Pride group. They went out to the Interconnect Tuesday and cleaned up, inside the on-ramp and off-ramps of 169. Got that trash picked up before. As Jeff said, 1,000 pieces of trash gets turned into 10,000 when they mow. So we got that all cleaned up Tuesday evening. And then May 2nd, we're looking at, Saturday afternoon to do the, mulch for downtown and other areas. The Pride Committee will, all get together, meet downtown a little afternoon. So hopefully, some people can show up and we have, quite a few hands there to do that. I know it's prom, but we're running out of days to do it before Memorial Day. So that will look nice. It always does when they get done with that.
What time was that there?
Noon, well, 12:15. I can be there about 12:15 with the truck full of mulch.
What day was it?
May 2nd.
May 2nd. So not this Saturday, a week from this Saturday. So if anybody's available, it'd be nice to see everybody. We did have one, written statement, that a citizen emailed in to us. We chose not to read that out loud, but there is a copy. Every council staff got a copy of that, written statement for public forum. And Tammy, if we could get it put into the minutes, that way it shows up officially in the, comments. And I do believe there's a few copies over on the table, or there were, that if anybody would like to pick them up and read them, read that public comment that was written in the citizen emailed us and said he was busy tonight doing something at the school. And so he couldn't be here, but he wanted to make sure his comment was relayed to council and anybody that would like to pick it up. So I believe that's all I've got. So we'll move on to staff.
All right. We're still in the midst of doing some damage assessments. Obviously, we've already started claims with insurance. Thankfully, of our fleet, there's only 11 vehicles that appear to have sustained damage. So that was a better outcome than while we were standing here watching the hail come down. I was worried it was going to be. Most of the buildings, obviously, like most of the homes in Osawatomie, have roof damage, including this one and City Hall. We are working with insurance to get that adjusted. About 25% of our streetlights have sustained some sort of damage. So when you're driving through and you see them on during the day, that is because the sensor that allows them to turn on when it's dark and turn off when it's light has been damaged. So we're working on getting more of those sensors ordered in and to get those switched out so those lights will be functioning again as normal. We have not had a chance to inspect all of the large decorative globes on 6th Street or on Main Street, but I'll say from the ground, they look pretty good. All of the globes in the park, unfortunately, have been damaged, and all of the older globes in some of the neighborhoods have been damaged. Other than that, we had some damage in the cemetery. We have some limbs and issues in the large cemetery that we haven't gotten to yet because we've been working on storm damage and debris pickup in the city. Public Works should have that wrapped up tomorrow. Today they finished off Ward 3 and Ward 4. And we will do another sweep tomorrow of the entire community, just looking for people who either we missed or didn't get stuff out to the curb, because we did have quite a quick turnaround on that. If we need to next week, we can obviously continue that, but it looks like a lot of people got their stuff to the curb, and I think for the most part, cleanup has gone pretty well. So we should shift then over to the park and to the cemeteries, and working on getting those cleaned up more. Other than that, don't know that I have any other report. Do you have anything that you'd like to add? I'm sure there's other stuff going on, but this week and the end of last week has been pretty taken up with this particular hail event. So.
PD, you got anything? Kind of figured it.
Hey, council. This is our newest officer. He's currently in the field training process with us. His name is Chase Gumminger. Really excited to have him here. He comes from us with a little bit of prior experience through Mitchell Police Department. Just started the FTO. I think you're in your third week now. Third week. You got some prior military stuff too, so we're excited to have him on the team with us. Just wanted to introduce him, get to see him, walk around, say hi.
Yeah. Well, good. Thank you.
Appreciate everything you guys do.
Thank you.
That's all I got. Thanks, guys.
There are no other staff reports. We'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second. Got a motion by Councilman Shasteen, a second by Councilman Bratton for adjournment. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed?
Between this and Arbor.